I am the evil monster. I will destroy you.
Hello, Bob here again. Time for another Flatsatonius weekend. You know, I'm retired. Well, technically I'm not retired. I like to tell people I'm retired because it makes them envious. In reality, I was laid off several years ago. Just chose not to get laid back on anywhere. Figured I'd had enough of corporate America, especially since they just told me they'd had enough of me. Actually, they don't use that term laid off anymore. They use the term downsized. I was downsized. Somehow they seem to think you'll feel better about the situation if they tell you were downsized rather than laid off when you're sitting home jobless. Personally, it makes me feel worse. You know, when you get laid off, usually it's for economic conditions. You know, they just can't afford to have you. But when I think about downsizing, I figure when I hired in, I probably upsized that company, didn't I? Made it a little bloated and uncomfortable. So now, when they tell me I was downsized, instead of feeling like I was laid off for economic conditions, I feel like I was laid off because I gave the company indigestion. So that's why I tell people I'm retired. It doesn't have that corporate gastrointestinal stigma attached to it. You know, nowadays retirement is not your grandfather's retirement. Retirement is different. Back then, you just went home, took it easy, relaxed, slept on the couch, went fishing, played golf, played some shuffleboard, sat in a rocking chair, took some naps, played a little canasta, watched a little TV, and then not long after, you died. Yeah, when they first enacted the Social Security Act, people were only living to around age 60. You collected it at age 65 at that time, so they didn't expect most people to even live to collect Social Security. But nowadays, we're living into our 80s, 90s, 100s. They did a recent survey. By the year 2035, they expect 16 people over the age of 100 to be living in every American household. Oh wait, I did that survey. Yeah, I polled myself. That's what I came up with. Nowadays, they refer to retirement as a second life. It's kind of a rebirth, which is kind of bad news for your mother. Well, Mrs. Matthews, don't push quite yet. You're only dilated to 275 centimeters. Remember the movie Alien? This is worse. Because to me, if most people have second lives, most mothers are not going to have third lives. So if you have a second life, I mean, you're going to have a second wedding, a second partner, second house, second mortgage, second career. You're going to go back for more education, get a second GED, second vasectomy and or second hysterectomy, second hernia operation, get a second pacemaker installed, and like a cruise ship, you'll have twin engines now. Maybe a second home. A lot of people when they retire move to Arizona or Florida or the home. Now people in their second lives are starting businesses, some are starting second families, some are beginning just brand new careers doing things they didn't do before. So it's kind of an opportunity. Back in our grandfather's day, people moved to Florida and played shuffleboard. You know, I guess which was okay unless you were an ex-hockey player. Instead of sliding it, they would take that slap shot, check poor old Mrs. Miller into the boards. Well, that's kind of my story. I'm retired / laid off / downsized. So till next time, please keep all metacarpals and metatarsals inside the ride until it's come to a complete stop. Or till you've been downsized from the ride.